Three Illini make the CBS Top 100 Plus One players of the upcoming college basketball season. Can you guess which three they are?
You are Locked On Illini, your daily podcast on the Illinois Fighting Illini. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome one, welcome all to another edition of Locked On Illini. Thank you all so much for making us your first listen each and every day. My name is Verma, your host here at Locked On, where all the information you see and you hear is absolutely free. I ask for nothing in return, but if you don't mind, just hit that like button while you're watching this video anyway. You know it's going to be a good one, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We've passed 3,600 subs over the past week, and why not try to hit 4,000 by the time this season starts, which, by the way, is in about, 5 days, depending on when you are watching this. That's right. Basketball season's right on the corner, so here at Locked On Illini, we're doing basically just basketball previews all day long. We're going to talk a little bit about what the experts are saying in the first segment, and then I'm going to do a position preview in the next segment, talking about one of the players who I'm actually about to start talking about right now. And that's, okay, on Tuesday afternoon, CBS Sports released their list of top 100 plus one players in college basketball for this upcoming season. And I'll give you guys a second. How many would you guess would be in that top 101? Okay, well, the answer is three. And the three players listed were Tomislav Ivišić, Andrej Stojaković, and Kylan Boswell. Now, Tomislav was listed as 31, and this is what CBS's David Cobb stated about Tommy. No one embodies the trend of seasoned international players migrating to college basketball better than Ivišić. At 21 years old, the Croatian sensation enjoyed a breakout debut campaign last year, averaging 13 points, 7.7 rebounds, and 2.3 assists, and 1.2 blocks for the Illini. With a full offseason in Big Ten strength program under his belt, expect greater consistency from the 7-footer. He'll be joined by his brothers Vladimir Ivišić, and Arkansas transfer with similar size and versatility. The two will give Illinois coach Brad Underwood a strong 1-2 punch. First thoughts, Tommy Ivišić, 31st best player in the country, too low. Now, you guys know my everydayers in here. Let me know in the chat if you are one. You know I do not accept any Tomislav Ivišić slander on this channel at all. I was the first one in the Illini community to say, hey, he might be the most valuable player on our team last year. And I think once he was injured, we kind of saw just how important of a role that he did end up playing. I saw Andy Katz's list of like top 10 big men in the country that didn't even include Tommy. There's a reason I didn't talk about that, or I didn't devote a segment of that on Locked On Illini, because that's just straight up disrespectful. His averages last year were 13, 7.7, 2.3 rebounds, right? 49% from field goals, and he was one of our best three-point shooters at 35.7%. I can't say this enough, and maybe I'll highlight it more when I do the positional preview for the center spot. Tomislav Ivišić is an all Big Ten talent. Like I think he's the best center in the league, and quite honestly, I think he's going to be in the running for the best, an All-American spot when it comes to the 5 spot. He's that good. His IQ is that high. Sure, he's not the most athletic player in the country, but now, as David Cobb mentioned, he's had a full year of working with Adam Fletcher, and he's got his brother to run around with him. He's a guy who I do agree that he should be the highest of all the Illini, but if I'm listing the top 100 players, Tommy, for me, is going to be in the top 20, worst case, top 25. Next up was number 60, Andrej Stojaković, and I won't go to the description of him. I'll save that for the second segment, but Andrej last year averaged 17.9 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, 1.8 assists, 42.7 from field goal, and 31.8% from three-point land. 60, I think, is, this is an enigma to me. Andrej Stojaković is one of those guys whose role I just don't know on this basketball team. So I feel like the Stojaković ranking by the end of the year is going to be way too low, or it's going to be laughably high. That's just the way I see it. Again, I'll expand a little bit on that a little later. Number 72 comes the captain of this team. Well, I guess Tomislav also is going to be one of the captains. It's Kylan Boswell. And for Kylan, CBS's Isaac Trotter said this: Boswell is a lockdown point of attack defender who became a well-rounded offensive weapon in year one at Illinois. Boswell posted the best offensive efficiency mark of his career, despite a jumper completely abandoning him for long stretches. Thanks to the year two transfer bump, Boswell could be one of the Big Ten's premier guards in 2025-26. Everyone knows he can still rain three-pointers, and when that comes back, he'll be a total nightmare on both ends. Now, I don't have to talk much about Kylan either. I talked about him in the point guard preview. Kylan's going to be, he's locked in this year, guys. He's one of those where I think 72 is definitely too low. And yeah, I get it. You know what? Of course, the guy who covers the Illini thinks that the Illini players are a little too low. Like maybe there's some bias in it, but I don't think so, at least in particular with Tomislav and Kylan Boswell. Kylan Boswell is going to be the leader of this team on the court, and he's already shown as much off the court. In the conversations I've had with him, even in Big Ten media days, the guy is completely locked in, and he understands how important this year is for him, knowing it's his last year of college basketball. He has aspirations to play at the pro level, and if he is going to play at that next level, and I'm sure he wants to play in the NBA, he's got to show that his game is ready for the NBA. He's not a guy who's super athletic himself. He doesn't necessarily jump out of the rim, but as Isaac said, and as our eyes have told us from last year, he is a very good defender. Now, can he return to that 40% shooting from three-point land that he was doing in Arizona? I really feel like one of the only keys that he needs for this year. Now, whether he plays a full-on point guard role or if he plays off the guard role, I don't really know. That's something I think we're going to start finding out starting Monday when they open up their season. By the way, not that I have to tell you guys, because I know you guys tune in all the time anyway, but I will go live immediately after the game on Monday night as well, because that's something I did all season long last year, both football, both basketball. And I'll be doing that. I'll continue that with basketball this season. So make sure you're locked on and subscribe to this channel. But I think we're going to start getting a hint, maybe not Monday because they're not really playing a tough team, but certainly by game 3, right? That's when you play Texas Tech. It's one of the roles that I think I'm most interested in. How does Brad Underwood treat Kylan Boswell? Is he the guy with the ball in his hand? Or now that Mihailo Petrovic is officially cleared, hooray, does Mihailo take on the roles of a point guard? And then, of course, you've got Keaton Wagler, who started the game against the Illinois State on Sunday, and maybe he is the starting number 2, which, again, would make Kylan the starter. Or is Keaton the starter? Do you see how I'm talking in circles? It's because we've heard variations of all 3. So I don't know, just like nobody knows outside maybe Ubin right now. So I think we'll get a better hint starting next week. So those are the 3 players listed in the top 100. Again, Tomislav at 31, Andrej Stojaković at 60, and Kylan Boswell at 72. I will say, and this is, okay, now I'm putting the Illini bias hat on. If you had to guess, let me ask you guys first. If there's one player not listed who could surprise everyone and show up on this list, who is the guy for you? I think the clear answer here is David Mirković. One of my guys from this entire offseason. Again, my everydayers and he will confirm that for me. I'm not going to anoint him yet, but if he continues to play that like he did against Illinois State and how he reportedly played against Florida, by the way, a source told a source of mine, let's put it that way, that he was the engine of the offense against the Florida Gators. Think about that. David Mirković was the engine against the national champions. If that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will. Speaking of, right after this break, I'm going to be talking about a guy who I just can't figure out, and I want your guys' opinion and feedback as well. Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. From footwork to breathwork, athletes sweat all the details. Mazda brings the same intention to how we craft every model. You can feel the Japanese craftsmanship in every detail, from the metallic accents to the available Napa leather upholstery. You can make everyday drives feel like anything but, from smooth handling to intuitive controls. With all-wheel drive standard in every crossover SUV, you can drive with the confidence through almost any season. Like our players, we sweat every detail because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, move and be moved. If I'm going to be honest with you, the one guy who I have the least amount of confidence telling you how I expect him to play this upcoming season, that guy would be Andrej Stojaković, a kid who's obviously in his third year of college basketball. He does the big-time transfer from Cal. It was a hard-fought battle between the University of Illinois and the University of North Carolina for his services. It was one which I think the recruitment only actuality took like 1 week long, but it felt like it took 2 months long. He was kind of the crown jewel of this offseason for the Illini. And when we got him, I was extremely excited. And what's not to be excited about? You're talking about a kid who, again, last year for Cal in the ACC averaged 17.9 points per game, 4.7 rebounds per game, 1.8 assists a game, 42.7% shooting from the field, and 31.8% from three-point land. Now, obviously, you get excited when you hear the name Stojaković because, well, if you're my age, you got to watch his father be one of the most underrated players in the history of the game. But his game doesn't exactly remind you of his dad's. In fact, he's not nearly the three-point shooter that his father was, which is one of the most prolific in history. But Andrej, again, as I got a chance to kind of look over his tape again this weekend, because I wanted to do these positional reviews, and obviously right now we're looking over at the 3 spot between Andrej Stojaković and Jake Davis. Andrej shows flashes to me of being a 3-level scorer. I mean, he went off in the ACC tournament. I believe he was 7 for 13 from three-point land, so you know he's got it in him. But when we signed him, I thought that he could very well be the leading scorer on the Illini next year. And he, well, even as I'm sitting here talking about him, he could be the leading scorer on the Illini next year. But there's also now recent wins, and that's, I feel like, brought on by Brad Underwood, who's kind of, in my opinion, keeps making it a point to say that they won't ask Andrej to do what he's done in his previous stops. And to me, that kind of insinuates that we don't need him to be a scorer, that he calls Andrej pretty much a lockdown defender. And I'll be honest, I watched this tape just 2 days ago. And while I think he's a good defender, I didn't see anything about being a lockdown defender. Now, he's got great instincts, and that's probably his best trait. You figure maybe that comes from lineage. He's got a very, very high basketball IQ. And because he's got good size and length, he's got very good timing, and that's why he's got the blocking numbers that he's gotten. I believe I said it was over 1 per game at his size level. He's already one of the best blockers in the college basketball world, maybe the best when it comes to size. But when it comes to just simple on-the-ball defender, he's fine. But with Brad making such a big deal about how he wants Andres to, or maybe not he wants, I think he's insinuating that because he keeps talking about his defense, that maybe that's a conversation he had with Andres over in the offseason. If you remember, last year when Brad Underwood signed Kylan Boswell, they had a conversation, and Kylan has made this conversation public. He said that Brad Underwood told me he wanted me to be a lockdown defender. And it turns out that's kind of what Kylan eventually ended up becoming. Well, maybe the same conversations are happening with Andrej Stojaković. And maybe ultimately he's just meant to be a 13.5 rebound type of guy. But then there's that tease is still there too. Because if you take a look at this Illini basketball team, which is very talented, if you go searching for NBA mock drafts, there's 2 names that constantly come up in the first round. That's Tomislav Ivišić, and then there's Andrej Stojaković. Now, does that have to do with his dad? Is that because of his last name? But what if it's not? Maybe this just is a talented kid who is going to, break the expectations even that his own head coach has of him. Now, we know he's hurt right now, okay? And from the sounds of it, he may not play on Monday in the opener. Obviously, we're going to need him for Big Ten play. That's the most important season for the Illini basketball team. But Andrej's role on this team, I can't figure out if he's going to be the best player, which he very well could be, or if he's going to be the 5th best player, which he very well could be. The tape, to me, tells me he could be one of the 2 best players. It's Tommy, it's Andrej, and it's going to eventually be Mahalo. And again, David Mirković is the asterisk here. I just don't know how to diagnose freshmen. But Andrej is a junior, right? And that's one of the main reasons that he was so attracted to Brad Underwood and why I have such a higher ceiling for this basketball team. Sure, in 3 years, Kasparas Jakushonis and Will Riley will probably be better players than Andrej Stojaković. But this year, in 2025, 2026, right now, if I had to count on one player over the next 8-9 months, well, I would take a junior year Andrej Stojaković than the freshman version of whatever the top prospect is, just because there's much more maturity there. And I already know of the high floor that Andrej is going to bring. Problem is, I just don't know what that ceiling looks like. If that ceiling is as high as it can be, then he might be the superstar that this team kind of lacks. If we're talking about pure superstar talent on this Illini team, I think I can only name 2. That's Stojaković and that's Mirković. And I'm not going to call Mirković out for it yet. He is a freshman, and I want to slow that hype train out a little bit, despite me being a huge fan of his. He's certainly capable of it. But Andrej is the one guy who I think, we've done so well at that position in years past. When you talk about wings, right? Kasparas, Will Riley, Terrence Shannon Jr., Marcus Domask. Andrej just falls right into line. Like, we developed that position very well for the NBA. And if that's the case, then why can't Andrej develop himself to being a mid-first round draft pick? And why can't he be the one who reaches the max of his talents and he is one of the leaders of this basketball team? I really think he can, but maybe I'm psyching myself out. The more I listen to other reporters and I listen to the interviews, it seems like the Stojaković hype has kind of been brought down a little bit. Now, I'm not even just talking about injury. Of course, we know he's hurt. I'm just talking about in general. It seems like even other people are talking about, he's going to play more of a role player role. Maybe that's the case. And if that is the case, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it's not me exaggerating when I say this is one of the most talented Illini basketball teams that we've had in a long time. And I know it's kind of a running joke in the community that us Illini fans always say we're super talented and that our team is talented than yours. I got to release merch saying that because I said that so often last year. But it's true again this year. When you look from 1 to 8, 1 to 9 even maybe, Illinois boasts talented basketball players up and down that roster. Maybe not the same ceiling as last year when you had the 2 highest recruits that we've had in recent memory. But that doesn't mean they're not better basketball players today. And that's, again, where I keep circling around with Andrej Stojaković. His backup is, again, if you're an everyday, I'm a big Jake Davis stan as well. How big of a role he's going to have on this team, I can't imagine too much. But the thing about Jake Davis is that he's a coach's son, or at least that's what he plays like. If you ever rewatch a game and Jake Davis checks in, just watch him while he's on the court because he's always making the right move. No, he doesn't jump out of a gym. No, he's not going to shut down the opposing player's best defender. But the guy just knows where to be on the court, where to look on the court, which passes to make on the court, who needs the back cut, who needs the back screen. Jake Davis is a winning basketball player. And so having him as your backup wing, I think Illinois is in very good shape. And I was genuinely happy when Jake decided that he was going to come back to the Illini this year. Would I want him playing 20, 25 minutes? Well, no, probably not. I don't think he's quite talented enough for this Big Ten level. But if you're giving Stojaković a breather here and there, and again, you're talking about maybe 10 minutes a game, I think Jake Davis can play serviceable defense. He won't make mistakes on the court. And given wide open shots, he can make that three-pointer, which is what this team seemingly is once again going to be built around. The small forward spot, it's all going to depend on Andrej Stojaković. It can either be one of the best rooms in that locker room, or it's just going to be a good one, which is how I describe Andrej. It's either good or great? I haven't decided yet. Have you? Let me know in your thoughts. What's the floor? What's the ceiling to Andrej Stojaković? Am I crazy for thinking that he could be one of the superstars of this basketball team? Have you looked at the tape? If you haven't, please go. There's plenty of highlight videos of Stojaković, including the damage he did in the ACC tournament last year. Fantastic job. Go watch that. Let me know in the comments. I'll see you after the break. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ, which is their most advanced equipment yet, designed to give you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or cross-training with your favorite instructors. This is training reimagined. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with tools that help you plan, stay motivated, and reach peak performance. I love how Peloton IQ, the system, offers real-time strengths and conditioning. It actually tracks your reps, suggests the right weights, and corrects your form, making every rep safer and smarter. And the personalized class recommendations keep you engaged. You get workouts tailored to your vibe and energy level every week. So let yourself run, lift, flex, and push forward. Explore the new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus today at onepeloton.com. It seems that the Illini women's basketball team cannot escape the injury bug seemingly ever. Once again, it looks like they're going to have some injuries and some players that are going to miss the entire season. That was announced on Tuesday that Manuela, Elvis, I hope I'm saying that right, and Erica Finney are both going to miss the season with long-term injuries. Elvis said this in a statement: "After getting hurt recently, I found out that I've suffered a season-ending injury. Hearing that was tough. This game means everything to me, and it hurts not being able to finish the season on the court with my team. Still, I'm staying positive, trusting God, and putting all my focus into recovery. This is just a setback, not the end of my story. Thank you to everyone who's reached out and shown love. Your support truly means the world. I'll be cheering my team on every step of the way." Finney also said, "Unfortunately, I've had to undergo surgery, which will sideline me for the season. I'm extremely grateful for my teammates, coaches, and support staff who have helped me through this period, and I'm excited for my journey to recovery. I can't wait for what is to come for the team and to see the results of our work this season." Now, Finney was a player who was probably more of a depth piece, someone that not a lot was expected out of this year, but Elvis is trouble. She was a player that they got over from Brazil. I think they were really counting on her for being one of the more present post pieces on this basketball team. And to have her out, I think is going to hurt the team, at least in the short term. The thing is, the post presence is probably also one of the strengths of this Illini women's basketball team. So hopefully they'll be able to make up for it. I mean, Elvis was a big part of what historic recruiting class this was for Shauna Green. So, we hope for a healthy recovery for both of the ladies, certainly. And again, we're going to continue to cover Illini women's basketball right here on Locked On Illini, because that's what we do. Because that's what look, just because it may not be popular, if you wear the orange and blue, then we want to represent you. Like, if you're willing to make that sort of sacrifice, we want to give you the honor and give you the hype that you guys absolutely deserve. So give me a like button. Let me know in the comments section if you want me to cover more of this Illini women's basketball team. You guys, I don't need to tell you how excited I am about Shauna Green and what she's done with this program, and how excited I am for the future of this basketball team. I genuinely feel, maybe not this year, just because this talent is so incredibly young, but in 2 seasons from now, this Illinois women's basketball team could absolutely compete, if not win, the national championship. Now, again, we'll see what happens with some of the juggernauts in this sport. There's certainly juggernauts, unlike other sports, but I just have that much faith in what Shauna Green is doing with this program. And again, hopefully they figure this injury bug out. I feel like 3 seasons in a row now, before the season even started, we've had players that we're counting on to do big things gone for the entire year. But hopefully Shauna has some time and will be able to make up for these particular injuries. Just again, make sure you're subscribed to this channel if you don't want to miss any women's content or anything else. Saturday, we've got Illinois versus Rutgers. I'm going to be having Aaron Brightman on to preview the Rutgers team and how their season is going. And of course, we have basketball talk all week long. This is basketball week here at Locked On Illini. We're doing positional previews. We're going to be doing hot takes. We're going to be doing flag players. Let me know who your flag player is. I'm very curious. Can you guess mine? Do you have any idea? I've kind of hinted it in the previous videos. I think that's going to just about wrap it up for today's edition of Locked On. Thank you for making Locked On Illini your first listen today. For your second listen, check out Locked On Big Ten. Craig Shimon breaks down the most exciting conference in college sports, from the rivalries to the championship and every game in between. Find Locked On Big Ten on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. If you're not in the Talk Illini Discord, join the Talk Illini Discord. We've got conversations happening all day, every day. There's a lot of people, a lot of negative Neds, a lot of negative Nancys in there right now talking about the hopeless future as they see it of this football team with all the drastic turnaround that we're going to have next year with all the players that we're losing. But I will not let that dampen my mood. And so you see me kind of defending the positive outlook. I'm providing the positive side. I think that, you got to trust in Brett Bielema, and just because it's going to cost a lot of money to replace the guys that we have, well, a lot of the guys we have also cost a lot of money. So I feel like there's going to be a lot more. I'm not worried. Let's put it that way. Okay, that's going to wrap it up for today. Again, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And until next time, ILL. Love you guys.